Aboriginal woman and still had a family with a non-Indigenous family.
In fact, George started his Aboriginal family first. George Patrick was born in 1896. It was another 18 years before he started his non-Indigenous family with Patricia Falconer. While it was not unusual for a European man to father an Aboriginal child, it was less common for the child to be allowed to bear his name.
But I've learned that because he gave his son George his name and allowed him to carry his surname as well, that meant that he obviously still cared very much for his son.
Did George's early experiences help shape his attitudes as an adult? Catherine is travelling to England to delve deeper into the life of her great-great-grandfather.
Behind George Sibley is a story I'm most keen to find out about.
Because I want to experience what shaped this man into the man that made him.
The online UK census records should provide Catherine with some clues as to George's life before he left for Australia.
Okay, so this 1881 census, George Sibley's 15. He's living on Broom's farm as a 15-year-old, still in Dorset. His occupation is a dairy boy.
Catherine Freeman to Australians see me as predominantly an Indigenous woman. You know, it is a surprise. I am of British ancestry. I have British blood flowing through my veins.
Working here as a labourer for a farmer called John Smith. Simon Austin is the current owner of Broom Farm and has taken a keen interest in the history of his property.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I'm Catherine.
I'm Simon. Simon Austin.
Nice to meet you.
So, you're a George Sibley grandniece.
Yeah, great-great-granddaughter. And I believe he worked as a dairy boy here.
He worked as a dairy boy here in 1881.
Yeah?
He was probably apprenticed here by his family from about 12 years of age. He would have been farmed out just to get a shot of him so that, you know, the father was able to keep himself and whatever, the rest of his family. Keep him, feed him, pay him if you want to, but basically, I want shot of him. If he ran away, he would have been brought back here. So that's not really far different from the old slave trade you used to hear about in America.
Any idea of why George chose Australia?
Funnily enough, I do have some pretty good ideas of why he turned up. Just to show you a little article I've got. There's a local newspaper called the Western Gazette. Still get it now. Still use it. We all buy it around here. And that's a copy. If you look at the date, it's 1883.
Wanted young and middle-aged labourers and others to emigrate to become farmers and landowners. There were 3 passages to Queensland. So he wouldn't have read it, but he would have been told.
Somebody would have told him about it. You know, he may have read it. They may have had the Western Gazette here. And when you've only earn a shilling a week at most, what sounds interesting to you there?
Well, first of all, the fact that you could be a landowner.
Exactly.
That's probably the biggest.
That's the biggest, isn't it? You're going from a labourer to a landowner. Now that's one heck of an incentive to go. And the other one is free passage, isn't it? It's the only one that offers you a free passage. Everything else is assisted.
Yeah. So the light would have went free.
George never did get back, but in leaving behind his life at the bottom of the English social ladder, he joined a long line of Catherine's family, who would always strive to live life on their terms.